Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channel. We are back today to discuss a very important topical issue, TIRUPATI LADOOS and its consequences. As you all know, that the controversy about the alleged adulteration of the Laddoos, and Dr. Swamy then went to the Supreme Court with a PIL and the order of an independent SIT, and these consequences will be discussed in the next 45 minutes to an hour on this show. We thank our viewers across the globe for their support, which we get week after week for our program, which we have on various social media channels. So with these words, I take this opportunity to wish our viewers happy Navratri and Durga Puja festival, as we are in a festival mood all over the country and abroad for this very important festival which is being celebrated. So with these words, it is over to Dr. Subramanian Swamy to initiate today's discussion on this important topic of the Balaji Laddu and the court order. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagdish.
Dr. Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. First of all, I'd like to say that the matter really erupted sometime in July, but it got a real fire, so to speak, when people became restive and so on, was when the allegations on 18/9/2024 was made by the Chief Minister, who openly said that adulteration of ghee in addition to animal fat entered the prasadams, in particular the laddu. And this was the one that started the fire, so to speak. And instead of a cool presentation, it just got worse and worse. But as a consequence, an SIT investigation was appointed on 26/9/2024, pursuant to a FIR that was lodged on 25th September 2024. Now, look at the Chief Minister, what kind of a person he is. He first makes a public statement. When there's no facts, nothing has come on record, making these wild allegations. And then after that, that is on 18th he does it. And then after that, an SIT is appointed on 26/9, much later. Now that SIT is appointed by whom? By the Chief Minister himself. And therefore, I have no choice except that I should go to the Supreme Court and say that we need a court-monitored investigation, and we cannot have what has been set up as an SIT, and that too with DG of police and these kinds of people who are from the ministry itself, and therefore working under the Chief Minister. So that was one big blow that was given to the people who were trying to use this to create an atmosphere that the previous government was behind this kind of adulteration, and that we have now come, we are going to clean it up. Now, as you may remember, that when Jagan Reddy became the Chief Minister for the first time, on the very first day of his becoming Chief Minister, the friends of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu and a newspaper which is more or less controlled by him, they made a fantastic statement which upset a lot of people. That's how I came into the picture in that. And that was the announcement that the TTD office has now been decorated with a picture hanging on the wall of Jesus Christ. And that Jagan is Jesus is a Christian, X is a Christian, Y is a Christian. All this propaganda was let loose. At that time, the Hindus got very agitated. There was a swelling of crowd to surround and gherav the TTD office, and therefore the the government and the TTD chairman, they approached me and asked me whether I can assist them in some way to fend off this. So I went to court, and no sooner I got the court, all this dispersed, and the matter was heard. And those people from the newspapers who had said that Jesus Christ picture was there, the newspaper, those people were arrested, and now they have an appeal to the High Court, and they will lose there also, and the Supreme Court afterwards. But the fact is, the whole country became the country, in particular, the devotees, they became. So this is a matter which has been going on for some time, that Chandrababu Naidu is trying to use somehow his skillfulness in telling lies to see that there is no opposition in Andhra. You know that Chandrababu Naidu was an ally of Sonia Gandhi, who everybody knows is a Christian, and who still prays inside a house in 10 Janpat before a padre from Christian from a church. So shall I say, he has absolutely no right to speak on behalf of the Hindus. And there is the fact that he did it is something that they have come to grief, because it was established in the Supreme Court on a petition which I filed, but no one else filed the petition. And then the court, listed it as Subramanian Swamy versus the state of Andhra Pradesh. And that hearing that happened for 2-3 days, we won it hands down. The court passed a number of excellent points. They made a series of directions which were very good. They said, okay, this is SIT sent by Chandrababu Naidu will not be accepted. They themselves suggested some names, and then somebody who would be able to chair that, or at least assess that when it is done. So therefore, the matters got resolved. But I'd like to say that the efforts were made somehow to create a riot and make it impossible for Jagan's party to exist, and this is for a cheap thing. And worst part is that BJP became paralyzed, because Jagan, after Jagan government's fall, you found that now Chandrababu Naidu is an ally of Mr. Modi, and if he withdraws, the government falls. So we in the BJP were, except for me, the BJP as a party was tongue-tied, didn't say a word, and this has had a very bad effect on the Hindus. So I would like to say this now, that all these things that you read about the ghee samples and this sample, that sample, now we have to forget about all that and concentrate on the SIT set up by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has not closed down. They have said after the results come, they will be brought back to the hearing in the Subramanian Swamy versus the state of Andhra, again to hear what has been found out and have a discussion on it. And then certain actions will be followed, including warrants being issued against people who have deliberately tried to create an atmosphere. I personally feel that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is going to be in great political difficulty as it comes. He seems to be somehow, some problem he has, that he wants to earn the grace of all these people who are anti-Hindu. I don't know why. I know that when his father-in-law, who was a great film star and then turned out to be the chief minister of Andhra, breaking the long records of the Congress party, and he was very successful person. And this matter, he was the son-in-law of Chandrababu Naidu, but he had no regard for Rama Rao, the great Rama Rao. And Rama Rao, towards the end of his life, was quite miserable because he is well known to me, and he had in fact asked me to come and meet him, and I did, and I saw him completely broken because the way this son-in-law had put him down. So we are dealing with a person who is a part of the BJP alliance and who's working against our fundamental rights. I'm not saying that he should become a Hindutva man, but I'm saying at least don't flaunt your anti-Hindu sentiments. And by all these lies, Jesus Christ's photo is inside Tirupati, and then now this. So I think there's a time for, I think that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu should be prosecuted. We wait for this SIT, the new SIT set up by the Supreme Court, their analysis, and then after that, we will see how we can make Mr. Chandrababu Naidu accountable for all that has happened. Over to you, Jagdish. This is my starting point.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for giving us an insight into this adulterated Laddu issue and what happened in the Supreme Court. I'm sure Mr. Ramesh has more details on some of the factual position. So it's over to Ramesh Swamy to start his and display his documents.
Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Dr. Swamy, I'll just present, it's only 3 or 4 slides, very simple facts. All these are anyway documented in your petition, but I just want to give this information to the viewers. Please try to understand how the whole thing was convoluted. Dr. Swamy, quickly, on the day that Chandrababu Naidu had a press meet, he put out this document on the left. It says Annexure 1, and he talks about the adulteration, and he says the S-value equation for the suspected adulterants. He's mentioning so many other items, 10 other items, and then also mentions beef tallow and fish oil. Sorry, Dr. Swamy, hang on. Where are we? So he mentions there is also beef tallow, but the report on the right, which is the NTDB report, which if you look at the lab reference number, it's the same number, which was released on 23rd July. So please keep this date in mind. 23rd July is very important. They released this report on 23rd July. They got the sample on 17th July. Okay, yeah. So because these 2 dates are important, when I show you the some sequence of events, then which is all complete, is mentioned in Dr. Swamy's petition in the Supreme Court. Nowhere in the report, Dr. Swamy, does it mention the words beef tallow or fish oil or any adulteration. They just said the values are, there is a change, slight deviation from values. They have not pinpointed what the adulterant is. Nowhere in the report does it say any of these things now, Dr. Swamy, because they need more time to do this. But why they can't do this report will come, because once the CBI report, this is based on what I know little or what's in public domain. Let's just go to the next slide, Dr. Swamy. This is, as I said, 23rd July, the report is released by NTDB. But on 22nd July itself, TTD is saying that there is adulteration and warned the supplier, which is, I don't know how they travel back in time. So I think the Andhra Pradesh government has a time machine that they can go back in time and do these kind of things. I mean, Chandrababu Naidu is a genius, I'm assuming. So he's got a time machine that he goes back, goes forward, takes the report, comes back in time and publishes these kind of things. But viewers, please try to understand, there is only one petition in Supreme Court. There are a lot of other people who have tried to throw in their towel, but the Supreme Court of India made it very clear. It is a matter of Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY versus the state of Andhra Pradesh. Nobody else is mentioned in the petition. I know there are a lot of credit GVs out there, but be very clear, this is a writ petition based on facts that Dr. Swamy has filed in the Supreme Court in the interest of the public, because it impacts crores of people, and that it's exactly the words that were used by the Honorable Judge, saying that this is a very important issue. And they accepted Dr. Swamy's plea and instituted an SIT as Dr. Swamy briefed us. Now, this is a little bit squished up because it's not zoomed in. I can't zoom in. But essentially, this is the sequence of events. In the next slide I will detail, because that's exactly how Dr. Swamy mentioned, saying that on after 4th of June, mind this date, because it's only after the TDP, the new government came into play. They came into power and they got placed the order. So once they got it, I'm just going to go quickly here, Dr. Swamy. So March 12th, they put out a tender. On May 8th, allegedly, AR Diary, that's what they're being mentioned, allegedly, AR Diary also got the contract. On May 15th, TTD placed an order with everybody, including AR Diary. June 4th, they got the first batch from AR Diary. They said they got 10 tankers, Dr. Swamy, out of which they said 6 are good, 4 are bad. Yeah. Which in itself is mind-boggling, because it is coming from the same batch. How 4 tankers are bad and 6 tankers are good? Again, some new technology that Chandrababu Naidu is adopting. It is impossible, because they're bringing in a batch. How can they say, okay, this tanker is from this batch? It is just ridiculous kind of statement, because there is a chain. There is no idea as to how this chain of custody is there, because once they fill the tanker, they're supposed to seal it. There is no process like that. Anything could have happened from the dairy coming to Tirumala. Nothing, no idea. Those are the things that will come out during the inquiry, Dr. Swamy. TTD does the testing on the same day that they receive it, and they said 4 tankers are bad, and they rejected. Most importantly, rejected it. So no adulterated ghee was sent to the kitchens for making whatever. It's not like, be it anything else. No adulterated ghee was sent into the kitchen for making anything else. On June 21st, look at Dr. Swamy, 4th, they identified it was a adulterated ghee. On 21st, suddenly they have brainwave. We have to have a meeting on this. So on the 21st of June, they hold a meeting. On July 12th, obviously, between 21st of June, they have to think so much. They were thinking for so many, almost 3 weeks. And they sent, we have to send these samples for further testing to NDDB in Gujarat. Why, Dr. Swamy? On June 4th, you received. On June 12th, you send the sample. There is no idea how these samples were stored. It could have gone rancid. It could have get spoiled. There are so many other things that could have happened to the sample, unless stored in a ideal condition. We don't know that. On June 12th, they send the samples for testing to NDDB. This is all in NDDB's report. 17th, I don't know, from Tirupati to Gujarat, I think, because it's 5 days. Somebody has walked from Tirupati to Gujarat. So on the 12th, they sent it. 17th, NDDB results get the samples. On the 23rd, they issue the report, which I published earlier, Dr. Ram. This is the fact. There are so many holes in this, but this gentleman comes up and says, there is adulteration, there is beef tallow, there is fish oil, with no idea. Nowhere in the report it is mentioned, Dr. Swamy. And that is exactly the reason why your case is going to blow the lies of Chandrababu Naidu and his coteries into bits and pieces, and there is going to be serious trouble. In all of this, Dr. Swamy, immediately what happened, it shows that the Hindus are very easy to fool. We can divide and conquer the Hindus very simply by throwing such allegations. And they want to put such kind of nonsense among the Hindus. It's very easy to scatter them, go all over the place. For the first, after Chandrababu put in, there was like the whole Twitter was on fire, as though they tasted laddus yesterday and they were all lab experts. Not one media company, hardly any media company came out and called off this bluff, Dr. Swamy. It was right in front of them. This lie was staring in their face, but immediately they went on, Hindus are thinking billions of people were eating beef, everybody, halla gulla, everybody is chanting some nonsense or the other. But for your petition, Dr. Swamy, this would have gone in a completely different direction. Thanks to you, because otherwise they would have gone bonkers on this. No clue. People would have not got the truth. They would have buried the truth. Now, thanks to your case, it's going to come out. So I just want to place these facts for the viewers, because try to understand there are a lot of misleading statements that are being made. The Deputy CM, Pawan Kalyan, on day one says, there is adulteration, this and that. He danced around. Now, after the Supreme Court said, thanks to your petition, he says, no, I never said adulteration. Let's wait for the report to come out. Completely a different tune. I understand he's from the cinema world. I mean, as you always say, they always have a script. It's very easy for them to do. But the Hindus need to understand, whenever such thing comes, just take a seat back. Okay, so just take a seat back, think it through. There is nothing immediately. You don't have to go take to Twitter and run around. Think through and say how, and in the future, don't take these things immediately and start running around. If you don't have unity, How are we going to go and attack these things? All the Hindus that were, Dr. Swami, that were screaming around all their heads and running like headless chickens, did not even think, oh, you know what, maybe I should file a case in the Supreme Court. Nobody had to.
Yes.
As soon as you filed and put a tweet, 10 other people said, I'm also going to file a case.
Yes.
No, I just want to leave it at that. Jagdishji, take it over, Jagdishji.
Dr. Swamy, this disinformation campaign by the Chandrababu Naidu types, as you mentioned earlier, they did it in 2019, saying that Jesus Christ statue or photographs put up in Tirumala. And then when you went to TTD filed a case where you was appointed as a prosecutor for the case, and the supporters of Chandrababu Naidu and that newspaper were delaying the matter, going up to the High Court and here and there and delaying the matter. That time also same type of situation was created. I'm asking all our friends around the world, what happened? Why are you not holding that newspaper and Chandrababu Naidu accountable for spreading such falsehood? Whether it is Chandrababu as chief minister, whether Jagan as chief minister, we are not bothered. But why spoil the name of a Balaji and all do all these trickster political scores? Some of those fence-sitters, I want to tell them that they did this, that Jesus Christ photo was put up in the decoration or in the main Tirumala Mandir and all this type of things. What happened to that? Why don't they hold that newspaper accountable? Then I am told that there was an FIR also filed. In fact, Dr. Swamy went to court challenging that why an FIR was not registered. And in the High Court, then the police came up and said that we have filed the FIR against the newspaper and its people for spreading this falsehood. So this newspaper faces a defamation suit for 100 crore damages and also this criminal case for spreading falsehood. So all these tricks were played. Even on the Laddu issue, as the Supreme Court intervened. In fact, before the Supreme Court, in fact, the Chandrababu's government lawyer and including the TTD lawyer tried their last bit to see that the state appointed SIT was continued. But both the judges who are hearing the petition and Dr. Swamy's counsel also agreed that a new SIT was very essential to see that the public opinion or public faith in these SIT is restored. So rightly the SIT was appointed. But there is a type of activities some of these people are resorting to. I am told that in ancient India or Middle Ages or whatever you call them, there were some people within the Hindu community who sometimes did not allow the fellow Hindus, sometime who may have gone away from Hindu religion, to come back. I'm told there are some stories of Kerala, there are some stories of Kashmir, where some fellow Hindus unknowingly may have drank water from some well where some invaders or some Christian missionaries would have put some beef, and then the whole community was kept out, and ultimately that community also joined the converted Christian. So we Hindus have to play a very positive role and see that people are not driven out from our own communities. A classic example is when Mr. Subba Reddy in 2019 took over as chairman of the TTD. A lot of campaign, in fact, some Hindu activists even approached us saying that how can we tolerate a Christian being chairman of TTD? The fact was, when we verified, and many people who know Subba Reddy, we verified from them and we came to know he is such a devout Hindu that at least in 2019, he had been 32 times to Sabarimala. one VHP professor from Andhra recently called me and said, how did we tolerate Subba Reddy? So I asked him one question, have you been to Sabarimala? So he says no. So I told him, it's not a qualification that a Hindu has to visit Sabarimala, but if a person has doing penance or restraining from some things, and 32 times he has been to Sabarimala, he has a Goshala in his house. So I asked this professor from Andhra, do you have a Goshala in your house? He says, no, I don't have a Goshala, but I'm a devout Hindu. So I said, don't brand others who may not be of your political view to being non-Hindus. In the same way, you are driving out your fellow Hindus. I have no sympathy for any of those Christian missionaries who may be active in Andhra, but don't brand your own Hindu brothers as Christians when they are more Hindu than you are, and drive them out from the Hindu fold, or at least create conditions that they will think, I am not even respected by my own Hindus. And perhaps many of the conversions which had taken place in earlier centuries, some of them definitely be contributed to this type of mentality amongst the Hindus. So this is a clear sign, especially this Laddu issue and the earlier issue that Jesus Christ photograph was put up in Tirumala. We
Yes.
Hindus have to think before we believe such type of politicized news on Hindus, because there are a lot of agencies and others who are ready to spread this news to suit their political end. And as the Supreme Court observed on those 2 days, the Monday and I think the Friday, it was first on Monday and then on the 30th, and then it was on the Friday, which was the 4th. The Supreme Court rightly observed, let the politician not settle their political score on the Laddu and the temple issue. So it was a good warning to these forces. And Dr. Swamy, as I see from Twitter and from the social media, people have appreciated your bold step to go for a court-monitored SIT.
Yes.
Chandrababu Naidu, people were saying, no, we'll go by our own SIT. But the court did not believe it. And ultimately, what prayer you were widely asking for, that was granted. I'm surprised Chandrababu should have come up the first day and his council should have said, yes, we want an independent SIT. Why did they resist it on the 2 hearings? They should have asked that we should have the SIT. If you want a court monitored one, they should have agreed. In fact, Dr. Swamy, you were the first person who went to the Andhra High Court. First, you went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, let it be tested by the High Court. When in those days, Andhra and Telangana had one High Court in Hyderabad, you first approached the Hyderabad High Court. And then when the High Courts got separated, you went to the Andhra High Court, challenging Andhra Pradesh government controlling the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. And in your petition, it is still pending. And
Yes.
not only that, you won a major victory in an interlocutory application, or would you call an interim application. First time in India, a temple has been audited by a CAG. The TTD agreed that the temple should be audited by the CAG. It was a minor victory or a major victory as you look at it, but first time a temple which is under government control is being audited by the CAG. I still hope, Dr. Swamy, you pursue that case which is still pending in the Andhra High Court. And if Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is such a big supporter of Hinduism or Hindutva, and the BJP is an alliance partner which ideology and manifesto says that government should not be controlling Hindu temples, then Chandrababu Naidu should come up in the court and say, Dr. Swamy, we agree to your petition and PIL, and we are liberating TTD from government control. We'll have to work out the mechanism which trust or which organization of the Hindus can manage this Tirupati TTD trust. But that is a secondary issue. Government has no business to be in TTD where all these type of things are likely to happen. So these are my remarks on the whole issue.
Yes. Just I add one thing, if I may, just at this point.
Yep.
In my matter, the High Court of Andhra said that we agree with you that Tirupati Devasthanam, the temple, all should be freed from government control. But tell us who can take it. That is the problem which has been facing me in all temple cases. Unless all these sadhus and sannyasis get together and say, we are forming a body and give us the temple, we will find people who will be able to run it. And Tirumala temple is so large, so big, and so much money in it that the person who receives it must be of such integrity and such importance in society that people will trust that he can also run this temple. Or a group of people must come forward and say that, yes, we are ready to take over the temple. So my petition still is there in the Andhra High Court. And if any group of Hindus say, we are willing to pay the necessary money and we will take over the Tirumala Tirupati temple and we will run it in a good way. It happened in Tamil Nadu. I did it for the Savanariga temple. It's running beautifully. Even now the government, DMK wants to, give them trouble. So from time to time I have to go. I'm again going in another week or thereabouts to Tamil Nadu to see that the pujaris who are called Dikshitas are not harassed. So this is the thing in this country, and I'm sorry the BJP has played, as a government, has played no role whatsoever to protect it. In fact, I had to go to Himachal Pradesh and release all the temples all nationalized by Narendra Modi's government. All 23 temples were taken over upon the Uttarakhand thing. I went to court and got it knocked down, and since then the temples have now gone back to where it used to be before, in private hands. So this is the situation. This is a major thing. People talk about Hindutva and this and that, but none of them give any attention to these fundamental things. After all, a temple is the place where people go, not for any particular occasion, but they also go for just to see the God and pray and come back, where they meet people. And temple is a place for gathering of Hindus, and that culture has to come back.
Right. And again, viewers, before you don't have any clue on, Dr. Swamy also filed a petition earlier, this gold plating nonsense that was perpetrated again by TTD. This is for years and for decades. Dr. Swamy has been fighting a case of removing government control of temples, and consistently the governments have been doing some nonsense or the other, and Dr. Swamy has filed a case against that too. So before you blabber something that Dr. Swamy supports Jagan, he's a Christian, he's not a Christian, and all this nonsense that you have in conspiracy theories in your brains, do some basic research. Okay, don't come and just him. And there is nothing in this. So please restrain. Either you do your research or you just keep quiet, because please don't make accusations. I can see some coming. I'm getting excited, but I'm just telling you these. Try to understand. Without Dr. Swamy, as Dr. Swamy mentioned, without that very singular, it's a landmark case, that Chidambaram temple. So many people volunteers and people that are out there in India are challenging takeover of temples because of that one case. Try to put some, have some brains, go read up that case and say what that case is all about. So please don't make comments and throw accusations at Dr. Swamy just because you have a keyboard and a mouse. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, Ramesh, I just want to add to what you said about the gold plating. Viewers, Dr. Swamy had challenged that the inner walls of the temple and in the temple premises, there were ancient inscription in various languages, including Telugu, on the walls of the temple, and they gave a history of the grand temple building and various other activities in those days. The TTD then chairman and his group of people wanted to gold plate these
Yes.
pillars so that permanently all these inscriptions could be lost. And then Dr. Swamy challenged it in the High Court then at Hyderabad, and the court stopped this from happening. It's not that somebody born today gets up and says that he knows many things about the temples and its history and all that. Dr. Swamy has been consistently doing and fighting for these causes, just not on newspapers or just by Twitter, but he's walking the talk. He went and challenged this, and the chairman then kept saying, no, 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 all the inscriptions will be videographed and kept in the museum. Dr. Swamy said, then even tomorrow the temple deity will be kept in the museum and we'll be told that we have got a videography of it and we can pray for the video pictures. No, this is not how the Hindu temples have to be administered. The temples have a special significance in Hindu religion. Unlike other religions, the temple or the churches or the mosque is just a place to meet and say prayers. It's like a big hall. But our Hindu temples have got something very scientific about it. The location, the exact spot, the direction, and all these are important factors of Hindu temples. It's not like other religion. Other religions are free to do whatever they want, but the Hindu religious places are of significance, whether it is birthplace of Lord Rama, whether it is the birthplace of Lord Krishna, whether it's Jyotirling, the 12 which we have in the country and one which still under the occupation, and the Nandis at Kashi. Vishwanath temple is looking towards the real where the Shivling is. So all these things have a scientific basis, and we have in the past had programs on the significance of the locations of this temple, and in future also we plan to have such programs. That our religion is in fact more scientific than all the other religions. So all these things are very important. So I just wanted to inform our viewers about the gold plating episode, which was more than 10 to 15 years ago, what happened in Tirupati temple with the gold plating issue. So with this, I think I just have to inform our viewers. See, if you see this, this was in the year 2012, nearly 12 years ago, that gold plating work at Tirumala illegal, said the court. And on Dr. Swamy's petition, this was moved. And also I have I want to tell our viewers, especially those who are in Tamil Nadu, that from time to time the DMK government is threatening our Dikshitars in the temple town of Chidambaram of wanting to take over the temple. But I have to tell our devotees and the temple priests that this is an outcome of the Supreme Court order obtained by Dr. Subramanian Swamy in a reported Supreme Court judgment. And if the state government or the officials try to interfere in the working of this Chidambaram town temple, Nataraja temple, it will be a contempt of court, because from time to time these people are doing pinpricks to our devotees and the priests. And I have been telling them, and Dr. Swamy is very alert and vigilant, that if they do anything to the status of that temple, it will be a contempt of court in the reported judgment of the Supreme Court. So we are looking at it. VHS members in Tamil Nadu, our TR Ramesh and the Temple Worshippers Forum and other organizations are going to be vigilant on these other issues of these temples, and especially of the Chidambaram town temple. I also have to inform our viewers, probably next Sunday, the 13th of October, our program, Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom, may not be held because Dr. Swamy is traveling, and because of that, we will not be able to have our program on the 13th of October. 13th October, I'm stand corrected, 13th October program, which is a Sunday, we will not be able to have. Ramesh, if you want to have any comments.
Jagdish, that's it, Jagdish, because I think we have covered the main topic. Again, as we said, we have to wait for the SIT investigation to complete. What kind of, is there a failure in process? Whatever happened, at the end of the day, there are so many holes in the argument put out by the Chandrababu Naidu government. If there is something wrong, it has to be corrected. So people don't think that there is somebody supporting some X or Y or Z. At the end of the day, what is the truth? If there is contamination now or before, then somebody has to be held accountable, right? So that is going to come out of the investigation. We have to wait for the report to come. But this could have not happened but for Dr. Swamy's petition. Otherwise, you guys will still be keyboarding on Twitter or X, on Facebook. At the end of the day, it needs to happen. Somebody has to take the ownership. The BJP government, which is supposed to be the protector of Hindus, which has done, I don't think in the past 15 years has done, in 10, 12 years, 13 years, whatnot, has done anything to help the Hindus. They have not even uttered a single word about the issue. Not even a single word has been uttered about the issue. So please sit back. You can do your keyboarding a little bit later, but you just sit back, wait for the results to come out, and we'll wait for the report to come out. The only thing, Dr. Swamy, I'm trying to be a little bit cynical. I hope the caged parrot does this report quickly. Or I don't want Tirupati Balaji to take another incarnation to see the truth come out. But hopefully the CBI conducts I'm just more in jest, okay? I'm just saying, hopefully they conduct the report soon and, complete the investigation soon, and we can see the report and see the light of the day, what is really going on. At the end of the day, please, people, Tirupati Devasthanam themselves have categorically stated, which is in Dr. Swamy's petition, which the Supreme Court observed, that no adulterated ghee was used to make laddus. So chill, sit back. If you don't like the laddus, don't buy them. If you think it is tasting bad, don't buy them. Nobody is forcing you to buy the laddus. Okay, so nobody is forcing you to buy the laddus. Chill, relax. They have made a statement. The Supreme Court has made an observation. So let us wait for the report to come out. Nobody is forcing you to buy these laddus anyway. Okay. So that's the comment I wanted to make, because they all come back and say, oh, they taste horrible. Have you tasted old, new? And again, one point, Dr. Swamy, this adulteration need not necessarily only be the ghee. There are 10 other ingredients that go into the laddu. It could happen at any point. This is, again, such a misleading statement to make. It could be the ghee, the sugar, the besan that is used, the oil that is used for frying. They use so many other spices. They use cardamom for it. We never know what you're doing. So if you don't know the facts, don't jump the gun and say there is already beef and fish oil in this. We don't know the fact yet. Okay, there are 10 other ingredients that go into making the laddu, so we don't know what it is. So this is actually a good thing. So maybe this case of Dr. Swamy is going to open up something good for the Hindus from across the globe that believe in Balaji, that saying, okay, there is going to be some good process set in, so that none of the ingredients that come in for making of the laddu or anything inside the temple is contaminated.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for enlightening our viewers, and Ramesh Swamy also for giving us factual information on some of the documents and investigation that is going on. We pray to Lord Balaji that the truth will come out in the SIT investigation, and devotees and Hindus from all over India and abroad are thankful for Dr. Swamy for not saying that it is adulterated, not adulterated. He went to the Supreme Court on behalf of the Hindus to demand an independent SIT. We are not saying that this one is right or that one is right. But as the Supreme Court observed, the July issue was buried and then it was raised in September. These are some of the vital questions which disturbed even the Supreme Court, that if a report has come in July, what were they doing till September, and why was it not released earlier and only in a party meeting was it released? So
correct.
Hindus have to be vigilant, alert, and also be cautious of disinformation campaign by vested interest and fake narratives spread by these WhatsApp university guys. And we look forward for more interesting topics for discussion. As I've told you, we will not be there on the 13th of October for our regular Sunday program, but the following Sunday on the 27th of October, we will be there as usual on Words of Wisdom, Gyan Ganga. This is a festival season of Navratri and Durga Puja. We wish all our Hindu friends across the globe compliments of the festival season, and we'll see you back on the 27th of October, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time with another interesting topic. I thank our technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Tejas Navalgul, Swaminathan, Gadgi Rakesh, Gurudat Shetty, Vishal Mehta, and our friend Ajesh Nair for their support, which we get week after week for putting this program together. They have been doing lot of hard work behind the scene to make this program a success week after week. So with these words, it is Dhanyavad and thank you and Jai Shri Ram.
Need to run Windows